It's a Tuesday morning tradition in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Jerry Jones laying in his bed. I picture the room kind of like the producer in Godfather. He doesn't find any horse heads in his bed, but he wakes up, rolls over. He's got one of those old touch-tone avocado phones with a cord on it, and he's laying in bed and he's doing that
silk
spot
sheets.
On
He's got silk
105.3
sheets.
The
You
Fan.
think
Yeah,
definite?
absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely. Oh, without question. And he's saying some stuff about Odell Beckham Jr. And it was all so positive and glowing for days. They were putting on the full court press. They were showing the love. Jerry Jones speaking glowingly. And I did have some concern when Jones started saying, we need him to make an impact this year. Well, it's December. I mean, at a certain point, people started looking at this saying, what do you really expect from this guy in 2022? And he expects to be paid into 2023. That's part of what he's trying to do. He's trying to leverage, I'll help you now with you'll help me later. And it all kind of hit the fan yesterday, Chris, when somebody named Jones, most likely, started telling somebody like Ed Werder and somebody like David Moore of the Dallas Morning News the concerns they have about Odell Beckham Jr.'s knee. And that kind of pisses me off, frankly. He went to Buffalo and he went to New York, and nobody said boo about the medical examination of Odell Beckham Jr.'s knee. Well, then Odell comes to Dallas, and they get the sense that Odell wants more money than they want to pay, and all of a sudden they're putting out all this negative stuff about his knee. And whatever the reason, they're trying to drive his price down. Well, if I'm Odell Beckham, I'm not signing there after you put this stuff out there about me. This is a hell of a way to negotiate. Or they're trying to just reel in the expectations of the fans and of the players who have been saying we want him. Well, he's got a bad knee. I mean, okay, you want him, but if he's injured, then I guess we don't want him. So I got a problem with all of it. I'd love to hear your take on it, but I got I think it's not good.
Well,
self-edited.
Yeah,
myself.
yeah, it's crappy.
I think it's not good that they put that out there.
No, it's not. And well, like Mike, the way you just explained it, I mean, I see it similar way there. They're trying to put the cat back in the bag here, but they're the ones that took it out. They're the ones that started this. They're the ones that backed themselves into the corner of, we want to get Odell, and it's the Dallas Cowboys and all the media attention and everything around it. And they did that, and now they don't like what they hear, and now we're going to send out bad information about him because we want, the conversation to sway back into our power favor here. Well, that's what it looks like. Yeah, it does seem like a little bit of a low blow. And then, yes, to your point, the Giants and the Buffalo Bills certainly didn't seem to leak that information, but because there's been so much attention about this conversation, and especially in a place like Dallas, Texas, where football is king and the Cowboys are king, and you're doing, in front of the microphone or from your bed interviews all the time, and you're talking about it all the time, now you've led the fans to believe that this could be coming around the corner, and this move could get us over the edge and get us to win the Super Bowl. And then it's, wait, you're not going to work out for us, or wait, you want this much money, and now we're going to put that out there? Yeah, that's a low blow. There's no doubt about it. There is. And Odell Beckham Jr. is going to have to be really, really wanting to play or desperate to play for the Cowboys, I think, to just kind of swipe that under the rug and forgive all that.
Jack Waltz was the character in The Godfather who had the silk sheets and woke up to find something in those sheets on a fateful morning in Los Angeles.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. Here's my take on the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I thought they were in this to force the Giants to pay more. I thought they were hanging around to get the Giants to give too much money to Odell Beckham Jr. Then yesterday, when that stuff first came out, I thought they're trying to drive down his price. But then, and this was with the assistance of some people that I know and trust who are smarter than me, that's a low bar, I just came to the conclusion they want out and they need to put the cat back in the bag because the fans have an expectation, the players have an expectation that OBJ is coming to town to help save the day. Not that the day really needs to be saved. And I think that's where they are right now. They're out, and they're trying to spin it in a way that gets the team and gets the fans and gets the media to understand why they would tap out of this thing that they made us think they were definitely going to do.
Yeah, I totally agree there. I mean, it seems that way. Now, the other part of this is, I mean, I'll stick up from them in the sense of, the situation's weird. It's different in that, I wouldn't want to sign him back and give any real money. You know me, I love Odell Beckham Jr. When he's healthy, I think he's one of the most talented, greatest receivers I've ever seen in my life. And I like his off-the-field stuff. I do. I think he's a cool mofo, all right? But at the same time, my job is to evaluate situations here a little bit. If I'm a team, this situation scares me without question. I mean, yes, wait. Your knee's not good. It's your second ACL tear. The first ACL tear, it took you a little longer than
11 months.
Yeah, most wide receivers to get back. The second one here, we're just at 11 months right now. And wait, you're not going to let us see you work out? And it's early December? And wait, you want money for the future and all of that as well, but we're never going to really get to see you on the field at full speed before we give you that money for the future? That's where, the rubber doesn't meet the road. And I understand Dallas not wanting to be a part of that situation. I just guess I wish they were a little more tactical and how they went about this, or at least release this information.
The other side of it, too, is the Odell Beckham Jr. strategy. I wrote something about this last week. The idea that his camp is using this vague promise of helping you now so I can get financial security later. There's a point where that rings hollow. What is he going to do for anyone this year? Last year, he was playing for the Browns when he was released after the trade deadline.
Right.
He debuted for the Rams week 10. It took weeks for him to get to the point where he was able to make a contribution. He wasn't spectacular in the regular season. He had some great postseason appearances, and he was on track to be the MVP of Super Bowl 56. But this year, that doesn't do it for me. And I know I feel for him. And we felt very badly for Odell Beckham Jr. because he was on the brink of getting a big contract in the 2022 offseason. If he just stays healthy, my God, if he had been the Super Bowl MVP, can you imagine? He would have gotten $20 million a year.
Yeah.
So now he wants that, but the circumstances don't support it. And, one argument to be made, Chris, is just sit out the rest of the season. Then you're a free agent, and you don't have to wait until March. You're a free agent. You can get a jump on the market. You can sign with somebody after the Super Bowl. And or you can wait and sign with somebody and just play in the Super Bowl if you want to, if you really want to do that. But you can sign whenever you want. I think he's going to have to prove himself some way, somehow, before anybody ever gives him big money.
I think so.
That's the problem.
I think
when
so,
he's
too.
going on these tours and he's not working out for anybody, that's not going to make somebody likely to say, I'll pay you $20 million a year.
Exactly.
We'll pay you prorated $20 million this year and full $20 million next year. Let's do it. He's going to have to play. And I think it may be in his best interest to take what he can get with a contender that he believes is going to be playing deep into January and maybe into February, and go out there and show you're healthy, and then you get paid next year. Otherwise, if he's on the market next year, Chris, I'm not giving him more than a one-year deal.
No.
I'm not. I can't justify that to my ownership and the people I answer to if I'm the GM cutting that deal.
I'm with you. I mean, I feel like we've been saying this from the get-go, really. It's just too risky. That's not good business. And again, I love Odell and I believe in the talent he has, but it makes no sense to give somebody big money into the future, and you're at an age and have some injuries here where there's legitimate questions. I don't think, I think he's smart enough to realize that as well. I look at it almost like we talked about Jimmy Garoppolo before the season, or like we talked about last year with Odell. Just get on a team that's a contender, right? Get there. Get on there, get a little healthy, and if you could be on a team that's a contender to where you can string together 3 good games in the playoffs, and one of them maybe be a Super Bowl, then you got a chance to get that contract and like get a 2 or 3 year deal at a city that you want to be in. Maybe it's going to be the city you're playing in already, but Yeah, I would think that's the play. I just don't know, and I know I said this from very early in this process where, I was hearing from teams that he was asking for, multiple year contracts. And I was always like, I don't even know how that's possible or how that could work. I don't. And that's where I just get back and do, no, just get healthy. Keep talking to Kansas City. I know we haven't heard them much lately, but Kadarius Toney and another injury there, and these guys don't get healthy. The phone will ring again. Buffalo, I still believe needs it. I don't care what anybody says. Those weapons are not the top notch as they need to be. I think for them to feel really good about going to the Super Bowl, and those two teams are what I look at more than any because I'm canceling out Dallas. Giants. I don't know if that makes real sense here to sign on with them right now. I love the Giants and Odell. I'd love to see it back together. But damn, there's a good chance you sign with the Giants next week and they lose the next 4 games and they don't even end up in the playoffs. You don't get that chance. I think you're taking a risk there. So to me, that's where my mind would be if I got a chance to talk to somebody in his camp or him to give him my 2 cents.
All this talk, too, about the Giants, and he wants to play for the Giants, and he wants a multi-year deal. Why the hell are you signing with the Giants when you don't know who the quarterback's going to be next year? When you don't know whether or not Saquon Barkley is going to be there next year? The whole thing has made no sense to me. And, Chris, you know what? Just like last year, remember last year, the whole thing kind of lingered. It kind of sputtered. And we said, and others may have said it, too. I don't know because I don't listen. I don't watch. I got in my hands full.
How dare you? What a jerk you are.
But we said, watch the Rams. The longer it lasts, watch the Rams. I'm going to give you this year's version of the longer it lasts, watch this team.
Who is
ready?
It? Yeah.
The Eagles. The longer it lasts, especially if he's pissed off at the Cowboys over what they did yesterday. Go to the Eagles. On a bargain basement deal, you're playing with the team that's going to go to the Super Bowl. They got A.J. Brown, they got Devontae Smith. There's going to be some little crap. They don't have Dallas Goedert. I don't know when he's going to be back. But they're going to have some little opportunity for Odell Beckham Jr. to make a play that gets people to say, he's healthy, he's back, let's pay him in March. I would keep an eye on Howie Roseman slipping in when everybody's paying attention to the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Bills. Maybe the Chiefs. Maybe this. Howie Roseman, who has no need at the position, no obvious need at the position, he slips in, he grabs him, and he keeps him away from somebody he may see later. And you can leverage that Cowboys thing that they did. I was careful again not to swear. You can leverage that to get Odell to sign with you because, hey, Odell, guess where we're going Christmas Eve? We're going to Dallas. I'm telling you.
I don't think that's I think it's a really good thought by you. I mean, you're right. It makes sense. It makes sense from Odell as long as he doesn't ask for too much money or anything that way. But it's just like the Rams of last year in a lot of ways that way, where it's like, hey, go to Philadelphia. They don't need you right away. You get time to practice and get healthy. They got their guys, right? It's great for the Eagles, a la like if Robert Woods got hurt, which he did last year, or, and I don't want to wish this on anybody, Devontae Smith or somebody got hurt. Oh, wait, now we got Odell. Damn, good thing we signed that guy, right? That's where it makes sense. And damn, the Eagles, it seems like they've tried to pillage every big star in football this year, and that's another reason it makes sense. I don't think that's a crazy thought, Mike. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I thought of that. I did not cross my mind. But, yeah, this is one where they're sitting pretty, and they're just looking to, make sure let's not what could happen to mess us up and cover that up just in case. This would fit that for them, and it would fit Odell for get healthy, and then when you do get out there, you're on a team that can, give you the ball and you can make some plays.
And they're going to be playing deep enough that you can do something at some point. That's the bet you have to make. He made the bet on the Rams way early last year, and they lost 3 games in a row right after he got there. So he's running, and I made the wrong bet. You're making the safest possible bet right now if you go with the Eagles, and I could see Howie Roseman trying to do it, and that Cowboys angle is the way to draw him in and get him to say, screw it, I'll take what I can get, I'll set myself up for 2023. That's the play. That's what I would recommend to him. Not that he cares, not that anyone close to him would be listening to us, but if they are, go to the Eagles. That's your best play. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.